This is Shane, Hurricane Helms, inviting you to watch Rasslin Rage. That's Rasslin, Rasslin, Rage. And if not, what's up with that?
This is Rasslin Rage.
Hey everybody, it is Cody here from Rasslin Rage and MIW. That's right, Michigan Independent Weekly. Please smash the thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. It's right down here, right over there. There it is, right over there. If it's red, you haven't subscribed. Smash it, make it gray, then you know you've subscribed. Right next door, there's a bell. Click that too. That makes sure you get notified when all the awesome content is on the Rasslin Rage YouTube channel, along with this awesome interview I'm going to do right now with David C. Russell from the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. I wanted to make sure I got that right. I almost messed it up. That'd be horrible. I'd be a bad host, wouldn't I? Oh my gosh. How you doing, Mr. Russell? How you doing tonight, man?
Well, good evening, Mr. Cody Fleming, and how are you? And I'm glad to finally jump on your podcast. You just recently had a buddy of mine. I think we're all going to be good friends after this, Mr. Everett Lee and of Podcast City Network. And
Yes, sir.
I'm looking to shoot the shit with you tonight and talk about Deathmatch, what Deathmatch Russell Podcast is all about. And, you know, all the wrestling you probably see I'm a big time guru for wrestling. So.
Absolutely. Now, deathmatch wrestling's it's a whole new world. It's a different world for a lot of people. Some people are, hardcore into it. Some of it don't even want nothing to do with it. And then there's people like me that, dab a little. You
know what? It's a different experience for everybody. You know, you have your milk, you have your butter, you have your cheese. Come on, it's like it's an art. It's an art.
Yeah,
it's a form of art of wrestling.
Right.
And which is real. You know, the way that it's performed. I'm sure you've heard about Game Changer Wrestling, Combat Zone Wrestling.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And those promotions and Horror Slam. Your buddy was mentioned Horror Slam, and they used to have some killer shows, deathmatch guys that wrestle there, and show what it's all about, man. Just fill their buckets of blood, and it's just a fun time.
Oh yeah, buckets of blood. Buckets of blood.
Lots of beer too.
Yeah, Jeff King's all about bleeding.
Yes, he's a character, man.
Yeah. Oh, I love Jeff, man. I love that guy, man. Old timer Jeff King, and he was up here. He's up here, but XICW. He does a lot of work with XICW and and Horror Slam and stuff like that. And a lot of those guys at Horror Slam, they're all really good buddies.
But they don't realize that he also does like old time wrestling.
Yes,
like
he does.
And a couple other fun promotions.
Right.
I like that. I caught that one time, and I'm starting to watch it on IWTV.
Yeah.
It's really awesome to show up. We got to get sponsored by them. I think.
Yeah.
We keep plugging them every time.
Yeah, no kidding. I seen what was that when I went to Horror Slam? I believe it was Jeff King versus Matt Tremont. So that was a good one. And that instead of Jeff King having a fork out of his forehead like per the usual, it was Tremont that had the fork sticking out of his head this time. Good time.
Yeah, him and Matt Tremont. I'll tell you what. Tremont, of course, is the owner of Hardcore Hustle organization out of Williamstown, New Jersey. We'll get into that later. We'll talk more about that promotion. But yeah, he really he's a character too. He likes to switch it up.
Yeah, good stuff. Now, how long have you been doing this? Have you been podcasting before? And how long have you been doing this podcast?
I'll tell you what. I first started out. Oh God, 2 years. No, I was like 1 year ago or 2 years ago, whatever the hell. I can't even remember the time frame. But you just had your choke moments. You had your choke stutter. This and that. But no, I've had it about. I'd say now I'm going on 3 years now.
Okay, same podcast then.
Same podcast.
Nice. That's awesome, dude.
I was like, you know what? I'm a fan of wrestling. I like interviewing. I like going to the shows and talking to the wrestlers in public and just getting, talk to my friends and, the owners and everybody else. And it's a pretty cool concept. That way it gives us a chance to give back to the wrestlers, and we find out inside scoops of their story, like their stories on the trips on the road and stuff are always awesome to hear,
Yeah, absolutely. some of the road stories are some of the best stories, man.
They are. They are. I mean, I had Brad Cash on, and he was telling me a road story about how he was hated in the small. He went to a small little show, and it was like 20 or 30 people, and it was like a KKK night.
Oh Lord, that's crazy, man.
With pitchforks in hand. Can you imagine that?
Right? Yeah, that would be crazy, man. I don't know if I could handle that. So about 3 years now you've been doing this,
Yeah.
huh? 3 years.
3 years. Had a couple sponsorships. Local spot. I do a local promotion. H2O and Sizzle and Stan Styles. I'll get to that after. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of other promotions. Pro Wrestling After Dark, I'm a part of too.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So do you like go set up at shows and stuff like that and do podcasting there and interviews and stuff?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah, I do a little bit of that at a promotion here. But and there's a couple promotions that we work along with, but nothing. There's only one.
It's just fun. It's just so much fun. It's a blast.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't know who you're gonna have on your show. Like when I was at Standalone Wrestling, it was like I was in it was a cool show. I mean, hell, I got to talk to Brian Cage or Penelope Ford, Ace Austin, Ace Austin. I got a couple people. What the hell's her name? TNA Blonde Bombshell, whatever her name was. But she came on my podcast for like 15 minutes.
Oh,
it was
wow.
cool.
That's
really cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Wi-Fi sucked in that place, but what are you gonna do?
That seems to be the thing, is our limitations on where we can go. Like, because I set up at a place and I couldn't get any Wi-Fi, so I can't do anything live or anything like that. So that's why I kind of film a lot of stuff, because it works out nice and I can make my own schedule with it. Now, so 3 years doing the deathmatch thing with the podcast.
And going to wrestling, just enjoying it, man.
How have you, did you know anything about podcasting before you got into it? Is it something that you just kind of learned as you were going along?
I was like, you know what? I'm a fan. I just learned it, man. Like you I'm sure you did too.
Oh,
it's like, you had tips from friends. You had friends that, we knew, and they would help us along the way.
Yeah.
Like Everett Lee actually helped me really a big time.
Yeah.
Him and Chris Carnage.
Yeah.
And the team of Podcast City Network. But yeah, I just got it down packed to where I was like, I could buy a microphone. I could hook it up a camera. Come on, how hard is this? Right. How hard is it to talk to somebody?
Yeah. Yeah, I go back. I started this about 2.5 years ago with Rasslin Rage, and I told Everett when I was on his show, it all started on a little 720p, little Logitech camera.
Yeah.
No microphone. We were using the microphone on the Logitech camera. It sounded like we were in a wind tunnel. It sucked, but we did it, and we made it through, and we learned a lot as we were moving, as we went along. And here we are today, So do you have, you do the podcast, and I know with podcasts, you're all over the place, like as far as the audio goes. Do you have like YouTube and stuff like that too?
Yes, I do my stuff. I do like interviews, and like I'll do like films. I'll film stuff and put it on there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like I don't dabble. I want to hook it. I'm gonna get I could go on YouTube though with my stream stuff. I'm learning. I'm still learning. I'll get there.
Ain't absolutely nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, Twitch is a little harder than I thought, but there's a lot of programs we can learn. But we're gonna all work together and get it down one of these days.
Like I told Everett, man, I started out on YouTube. That's all I did was YouTube. That's all I've just recently started uploading audio content. Just recently, and I got 2 years worth of stuff sitting on YouTube that I've never seen anything on any kind of podcast network or anything like that.
Yeah, I was just actually looking on the I was just looking online, and they were just showing on Facebook. They were showing the Dark Side of the Ring. Looks like David Schultz is going to be on there. I had him on my podcast.
That's awesome.
How crazy! Dude. Isn't it crazy? Like, you don't know these people, but the story behind him, I remember going to a wrestling federation in my hometown about mid-90s or the early 80s. It was called NWF Wrestling came around, and Bruiser Brody inside a steel cage with Jules Wahoo, one of the Chief J Strongbow family members or whatever. But yeah, no, and there's David Schultz. He came out to the ring versus the Fantastics or somebody else or some wrestler, and like, holy shit, like I got to see him wrestle at a young age.
Right, that's awesome. Yeah, I would like I was talking with Everett, and he was talking about with him being down in Florida, he's got to see a lot of people that's came in and went into Evolve and NXT and things like that because he's down there. And he mentioned the name of a girl that I've seen wrestle in Evolve and Shine, and that's Brandy Lauren. But I wanted to ask you, I asked this question the other night, but you've come into podcasting, and like everything in life, there's some ups, there's some downs.
Absolutely.
Shit breaks.
Yep.
You got to buy new shit. You know,
technical difficulty freezes. We know how it goes. It freezes up. What are we gonna do?
Right. So what's something that, is there something that, you have to mess with? Is there anything that bugs you all the time with
audio?
Stuff?
It was
thank you.
Audio. Freaking audio.
Yeah.
I could not get I had to call Best Buy's Geek Squad to help me so many times just to hey, right. And they helped me get my audio issues. I'm like, come on, is there a way to get rid of this stuff? Echo and that was my biggest. I don't use a soundboard or any of that other high tech. I'm looking at soundboards. I like to get like a little fun box, like right. Little laughing,
Yeah, little. I know. Where you
like,
can make little noises and stuff.
Yes.
I gotcha. Yeah, my audio is always giving me issues, and I think I got a computer that's haunted or something, or it's got gremlins. I don't know, man, because every day the settings are messing up and things are switching all over the place. It gets a little nuts, So,
but this free headset is helping me a lot better now.
There you go. Yeah.
So I would say, do you want to spend $10? It's well worth it, dude.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Do it. I'll set.
Yeah. So with the deathmatch thing, right? Not everybody just goes right into deathmatch, right? It's kind of like an acquired taste. It's like a fine wine almost, right?
Yeah.
And so what kind of like pushed you into the deathmatch stuff rather than, your basic wrestling?
Man, just the taste of it, man. I saw it. I would study tapes on the internet like everybody else, or YouTube tapes, DVDs, swap with friends, and all that fun stuff, and just talk wrestling with a couple of friends. But then I found a lot of friends were like, "You gotta come and check out Combat Zone Wrestling." Like I never got a chance to it, and
right.
like way before. I wish I did before when Moxley was Moxley,
right.
And Drake Younger,
Yeah.
But I just like would study the stuff, and I would just like look at it, and I was like, holy shit, this stuff is like unbelievable. The way that they present themselves, like Onita from Japan and Jun Kasai, those are the two guys that really, Mr. Danger as well.
Right.
They really stood out to me and made me want to like, I can watch this stuff. I love just it's an art. It's really. And
it really is,
and of course, I've seen a lot of it in Chicago. Like when they travel, it's amazing. These guys just coming from Japan all the way to the States and show us.
Right now, so you're in New Jersey?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm right at the Jersey Shore. I'm actually. Yeah, so I don't know any of the cast members. Okay, so all right, I don't know.
That's awesome, man.
I don't give a shit about them.
Right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
No,
you're in.
But I am close. But I am close to that one guy, Joey Janela, which lives in Asbury Park. So
he's kind of. I've only met him once. I met him at an Evolve show when him and Penelope was together there.
Yeah, he's a good kid. He's had a good career, man. Like I saw him when he was at the Young Carney shows, when he started out. He always tells the story on that, Austin 316's radio podcast, about time he finally got a shot to be on a professional,
Oh yeah.
Like, and Ricky Shane Page as well. Did you check that out?
No, not yet.
Oh man, go back and listen to listen to Ricky's. It was pretty good.
Yeah. That's cool, man. So what pushed you to say, okay, you come up with the idea to do a podcast? What pushed you in to do the podcast specifically about deathmatch? I mean, you got into deathmatch.
Yeah.
What made you say, okay, I'm going to do deathmatch podcast? Was it just because you loved the deathmatch wrestling so much?
I saw these groups on the internet, and I'm like, you know what? All right, there's these other choppy, crappy companies. You know, they have their own. They can do whatever they want, but you know what? Mine was original. You know, like because in my name fits right in Deathmatch Russell. You know,
Right,
like. But no, I just want to get to the heart and soul of wrestling. Like I've had the legends on. I've had legends.
Yeah.
Madman Pondo is the man. You know, shout out to him.
Yeah, I've seen him wrestle Chuck Stein at Horror Slam.
Mm-hmm. He's a great character. I mean, and he got inducted to our Game Changers Hall of Fame. You know, for the first ever Deathmatch Hall of Fame, which is really cool concept that they did. Yeah. But yeah, no, I just like to get as many guests and interviews and different styles to see where they come from. Right. You know, small little $5 companies from like I was just talking to a guy, Boris something from $5 Wrestling. You know, I'm gonna have him on a podcast. He wears a mask, so I'm gonna like shoot shit with him.
Right.
You know,
right? Yeah,
because you always hear about. You always hear about that little $5 wrestling, with the freight train or whatever his name is,
That's
amazing. Yeah, it is. But independent wrestling, man, it's a different story, man.
Oh yeah. So you do the podcast and you're into the death match stuff. You love the blood. You love it all. You're doing your podcast. Do you have a vision? Do you have like an idea of like? Because for myself, and I don't know. I'm not saying everybody's me. I know that, but
I've come up with ideas. I've built stuff for shows and stuff. Like I've done the backs behind the dirt. Like I've built like tube structures, and I can come up with twisted weapons to bring to the ring.
Right. So do you have a vision going forward for your show? Like this is where you want what you want to do here, and to get to here, and like take these small steps to do certain things. Do you have?
It's just I just kidding. I like splitting it with the deathmatch. You just have that. You have to have the split because I love both. I love both styles. All styles of wrestling.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now you do interviews with the deathmatch guys as well. You got a lot of as
females,
well as any females.
Yeah, you got to get them on there because if it wasn't for like Ludark or like Mickey Knuckles or like the old people that really Amazing Maria. Shout out to her. She's awesome. Love her.
She was just in a promo contest thing.
Yes, with that guy. I think I put that up in the chat. Ridiculous or something.
El Ridiculoso.
Yes.
El Ridiculoso. He's here in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's actually from California, but he's up here. Then her and Jessie Belle Smothers are facing off for that championship. I don't know who won, but that's
I'm
awesome.
Sure. I think Marie's got it. We know.
There you go. Well, they both cut some pretty good promos. They're both pretty dang good, man.
Yeah.
Both did some time in OVW as well as some other organizations.
Mm-hmm. And along with Pondo's promotion as well.
Right. Now, how did you meet the Everett Lee there, the one and only?
You know what? I was just an internet person on Facebook. Just can I make some new friends? Let me check this guy out. Let me hit him up and see what he's about. Let me see what the show is about. Then I worked with, he helped me get myself set up, and then eventually, I became a part of the team. And
that's awesome, dude. That's awesome, because he talked about last night. We talked about a little bit about Podcast City Network there, and how why he formed Podcast City.
Yeah,
because he reached out to get on a larger network, and they wanted all this stuff, and they weren't going to give him a shot because he wasn't as big as, say, Stone Cold or whatever,
Yeah. Or Joe Rogan.
Right, yeah, and they wanted to be able to give opportunities to the smaller podcasts to be able to do the things that the big podcasts.
And which is cool is with Everett's. I mean, you get horror people, and you get like movie people, and you get a mixture of filmmakers. You've seen it. It's cool content that we bring, that we bring to the table.
Well, and you guys got a lot of a diverse network there, and even so, just with Everett himself, like with talking with him, he started out doing indie films and stuff, and then progressing into other things. Yeah. Do you see yourself ever doing something like that besides wrestling, going outside of the realm of wrestling and maybe going into another avenue of interviews or something?
Probably not. Probably not. I'm not that. I'm not. I mean, I catch a movie here and there. I can tell you what. Have I watched the movie? No, I don't know. Like
well,
what
at least
paper?
you're honest, right?
Yeah. Am I gonna watch WWE? No. Okay. See.
No, right. No, and
Okay.
I'm the same way.
We watch and hear what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't dabble. Yeah.
I'm the same way. I don't watch WWE. I'm
Yeah.
just not interested in the product anymore.
No.
Nothing against the people that are. Don't care.
Mhm.
Each to their own. Watch what you
Yeah.
want to watch. That's the way
Watch.
I see
Yep.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Vince has a pocket and it's burning everybody's pocket. So whatever.
Yeah.
It's his fault.
Yeah.
His fault.
It's all Vince's fault. It's all Vince's
But now
fault.
you'll see these guys, the guys that just got released, man, like you'll see them go to other promotions that we know. And, I'm sure they will be picked up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a good time. It's a good time in wrestling. What's your thoughts on wrestling at the current time? There's a lot of things going on. We got multiple promotions now. We got
AEW. I know.
We got wrestling all over the place on almost every week now, every day of the week.
It's great. Yeah, but I don't watch Raw, do I?
There you go.
No, not really. Yeah. I mean, AEW, man, really catches my eye.
Yeah.
Like when that first came out, I was like, wow, this is something that's going to be different for us to see. And dabble in to catch our eye. And man, I want to go on one of those cruises. That looks pretty fucking cool.
Oh, yeah, Jericho cruise, absolutely, dude. Yeah, that would be sweet. I have a friend that's been on both of them. But,
really?
Yeah, not me though. I ain't got.
No, I know.
I ain't got that kind of money.
Not me either. But we do. Actually, the stimulus check I just got from the government. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, but now I packed that money away. Maybe I will go on a cruise.
Yeah, it would be nice. You never know.
Yeah, never know, man.
It would be nice. I just, I don't know. I can't get my wife to go with me on something like that. So it's like.
Yeah, you'd have to bring your buddies along. I know your wrestling buddies, and they'd be more fun with it. Yeah.
Yeah, they would, but then you got to get it approved by the wife.
Yes.
That's the finance department, and if she doesn't stamp an approval of the finance department, Cody goes nowhere.
Yeah. Right.
True story.
My parents tell me all the time. I live by, I'm 43 and I still live with my parents. But I pay my rent and do,
Right.
I'm single.
Right.
I go. I got my nieces and nephews that are smart.
No,
but you know what the funny thing is? I always they ask me to play with my figures, and I never talk about my deathmatch wrestling. I will never talk about that stuff to them.
Oh yeah.
I'll keep that secret. They like the figures that I have, and
Right. Now you were talking a little bit about how you're working with some promotions and things like that.
Yeah.
What exactly are you doing? Why don't you tell us all about that?
Well, like I'm sizzling. I'm I paid like the $50 or the $100 to be a sponsor for local promotions, and I'll do a podcast at a show, or I'll sponsor a wrestler.
Okay, that's
it. Or I'll set up at the table. Like Sizzling Stan Styles, intergender bonanza is crazy. It's fun. Yes, he's a character, man. Sizzling Stan is a character. I mean, we just had Raylin, the new champion, versus somebody else, Zoe Sky.
I know Zoe. I interviewed Zoe. She's good. She's really good.
Yeah. She was. I got to hit her back up. She said she was just moving somewhere, so I get her right back on.
Yeah, she's.
It's really cool just to have these different, like fun wrestling. Like that's what you want. Like the intergender kind of like just laugh your ass off at a show.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Now, is there more than one promotion that you work with, or do you?
I've worked with before I say H2O. I've done I've done interviews with a lot of the guys. I just get them when I can get them. I'll talk. I'm still waiting on Matt Tremont.
Yeah, there's a guy up here that does a deathmatch podcast type thing, and I don't know if he ever did get Tremont or not. I know he was supposed to have him, and he canceled or something like that. I'm not exactly sure.
Right, but yeah, I'll have him. It's in the works.
Is there somebody that you want to interview besides Tremont, obviously, because you've already stated that? Is there somebody that you want to interview that you haven't yet?
There's so many people on the internet. There's so many guys. I can hit them up every day. It's amazing. Like just so many people. Just surf the internet, just see what these people are about. That's it. Nobody catching my eye just yet that I want to. But there's still some guys.
What about Nick F and Cage, man?
He's a hard one. he doesn't like to do the podcast shit. He doesn't like 'cause
Really?
he's so to himself, you know.
Yeah.
He's
He's
told me that
very
before.
abrasive.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah.
Very abrasive.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
say,
hmm
but he's.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't.
a character.
I don't
Yeah.
think he was at the show that I was at. I'm not sure,
hmm
but
He's been to a couple of those. I know that. I
oh,
think
he
he was.
has. But
Yeah.
I don't think the one I was at because I was the Tremont one, and
Mm.
there was a couple other guys there. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head though. There
hmm
was a couple GCW guys there.
Yeah.
Because they're doing that. They were going to do that Horror Slam versus GCW show on Friday night in Lincoln Park, and then Saturday night GCW had a
I
show.
know. And then
Yeah, so
blew
they're
up.
talking about it's going to happen eventually, but who knows, dude? They have
I know.
They got
We
some
were
good.
we were looking forward to that big Game Changer Wrestling, Nick Gage Invitational.
Yeah,
You know, that was supposed to happen in Atlantic City.
yeah.
And now we don't know when that's gonna. Man,
And Horror
I have my
Slam's
room.
got a lot going on. I'll tell you what. Let me
Yeah.
tell you a little something about Horror Slam here, man.
Yeah.
These guys, and not to say that the seats are worth it, but they're charging $25, $30 a seat, and they're getting it. And boy, are they filling that house up, stacking
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Holy smokes! And there's light tubes aplenty. Let me tell you.
That's it. When you get the when you have that spooky gas in your eyes, it's okay. You know, I like how you always hear on like an interview with Dave Prazak, spooky gas. You know, spooky gas.
Well, and you know, it doesn't matter where you're sitting in the place. You could be sitting in the back 40, and you could still get some glass flying at you, and the smoke will make its way back there eventually.
Yeah, I haven't been gouged yet. You know, I always find a thumbtack in my boot, or shoe, or whatever. You know,
right?
That's
now,
it. Yeah,
you out there in the Jersey area, there's a lot of wrestling out there on the East Coast.
Yes, there is. There's so many promotions. You could even travel to New York to Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, are you? How close to Maryland are you?
Maryland's probably a drive.
Okay,
that's probably a drive.
Okay,
you know.
Well, I was just wondering because Maryland Championship Wrestling out there.
Yeah, you know. my buddy Larry Legend. Yeah, big. Have you ever? Ooh, I need to get you that guy. He's a great talker.
Yeah. There's a lot of those in the wrestling business.
I know. I know.
You know, but then you get some guys that don't want to talk at all. You know.
I know.
I interviewed Ron Simmons, but it was real short. He didn't want to. He didn't want to do it. And it was just it was one of those being in the right place at the right time kind of things.
Yeah.
And
I know. It's like I asked Tommy Dreamer on Twitter. No, I'm signed by Siri.
Right.
And then I talked to Sandman at a show, and he's like, "No, I don't do these anymore."
Yeah, he's a dink, anyways.
He is.
Yeah, he was in Wyandotte, man, and I didn't even bother. I didn't even get his autograph. I was just like, yeah, dude.
I know so many people you can walk away from. Like I remember the time I telling this story. Me and my old man went to a place in Forked River, New Jersey, and Hulk Hogan was famous at the time, you know, with his wife. Yeah. You know, they were getting that big divorce, and he's signing autographs. He was charging $200.
Ouch!
And I walked right out.
I said, no,
I wouldn't. No, yeah, why would you want to spend that kind of money? Come on,
yeah, I don't know why you would either. That's ridiculous. That's insane, man. That's just.
No, I mean, come on. So all the wrestlers that we've met over the years, and have how many? You know, we've never gotten that approach. You know, come on.
No.
In conventions and whatnot, you know.
Yeah. Right. With your podcasting, you talked about you're doing, you know, you're paying to sponsor a wrestler or a promotion. You're going in, you're doing interviews. Do you prefer doing on-site interviews over something like what we're doing right now?
You know what? It doesn't matter. Mix it up. You just got to mix it up. If you like what you like, if not, I've had the flaws where nobody will come to the booth.
Right. Yeah. You know,
I burned my $50 in my pocket, but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
But my name's out there, you know, they plugged it, you know,
for sure. Now, I am a huge independent wrestling fan.
Yeah.
I don't make it to a lot of deathmatch wrestling.
No.
We have, when there's two organizations here in the state that we are friends with or buddies with, and one of them we have an agreement with. So Josh goes to Horror Slam They both run on the same day. So Josh goes to Horror Slam with his woman, and me and Dan go to Rising Action Wrestling. But there's a lot of promotions here in the state of Michigan, and I'm not sure what it's like out there in New York. I've heard a few out there.
New York, Philly, and
and what's it like out there for the independent wrestling scene?
I mean, it's everything for everybody. It's like you could see a House of Hardcore and Tommy. I haven't been that. I want to make a trip out to just to see that. Yeah. So I've been to that show. The House of Hardcore. Absolutely. Just to say, but no, there's lots out there, little promotions here and there. That's what it's about. I like these little small, like H2O will have a show on a Saturday, Monday. They actually do their shows on a Monday.
Really?
For the dojo shows. Yeah, for the kids. Like Combat.
Okay.
Like Combat Zone does every Wednesday for their shows that they would do, but not right now.
Right, no. Nobody's doing shows right now.
Nobody's doing.
I mean, unless you're in Florida and you're essential. Mm-hmm. If you got $14 million in PAC money to give to the governor, you can wrestle.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
But going forward,
like Ring of Honor and all that, it's still around. I haven't been to Ring of Honor, God knows how long.
Wow. I don't go to anything other than independent wrestling.
To be honest with you, I think the last time I was at Ring of Honor was when I saw CM Punk sign his before he had his Austin Aries match versus.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was really.
I remember sitting front row, and there's Christopher Daniels jumping the rail, going there.
Oh, yeah, there you go. One of the guys here, there's a guy that is a friend who back years ago, 10, 20 years ago, when indie wrestling was on top before, really hardcore back in the day. Get there, he's got a bunch of tapes, and he's got a tape from when Christopher Daniels, or not Christopher Daniels, Daniel Bryan was going by Christopher Daniels.
American Dragon.
Yeah, and he was in ROH, but he was still working the indies, and he was here in Michigan and worked. And they played that the other day. It was really cool to watch because, his moveset hasn't changed a whole lot as far as what he does. I mean, now a little bit more so than what it was previous to the head injury, but, good stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, I saw him too. I mean, I never forget the time seeing him at a Ring of Honor show in Asbury Park, actually, the juniors tournament. It was pretty cool to see him in a ring, with it was a tiger mask and black mask and CM Punk, and it was just like the embassy, and it was pretty cool just to see Jamie Noble when he was on I remember we were starting Suey chants in the crowd. Come on, I started a Suey.
Yeah, that's old.
That is.
Now, you were talking about Ring of Honor and other wrestling. How did you as a kid? What were you watching? Were you WCW? Were you an NWA? Were you a WWF?
WWF all the way.
Really?
Was my go-to.
Yeah.
WCW when it came around, I liked it. The Ric Flair, and then NWO. Yes, of course, because I saw you put a post out there about NWO.
NWO, I'm an NWO guy. I always have been. I was a WCW guy, though. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with the old school WWF. Saturday mornings. That stuff. Before Monday Night Nitro was even around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I had got out of it for a while, and then I had an aunt, a cousin that was watching me, and her kids and her husband and I would all watch the WCCW during the NWA days, and then into WCW, and then I just kind of carried that on into Monday Night Nitro, and then when Hall and Nash came in, and then Hogan turns, and it just dude. I mean, I was a longtime Hogan fan as a kid. How could you not like the NWO at that point?
I mean, I did get to see him as a kid at WrestleMania 5.
There you go.
I mean,
I've never been to a WrestleMania. We've had 2 here in Michigan. I've never been.
I like to show off my, my nice. Can you see on the camera? My ticket stub from WrestleMania 5, brother. $50 ticket. $50 back then.
Is that a Marty Jannetty autograph?
Yes, it is from an independent show. I had to, because even though he lost his match, I had to have something.
There you go.
know?
That's awesome. Yeah, I met Marty at an independent here, here in Port Huron, Blue Water Championship Wrestling, and we had a lot of toddies afterwards, and it was a great time. He likes he can have a good time.
He can have a good time. I know it. I know
for sure.
He's done that with Joey so many times.
Yeah, he's a good guy though. Going forward with the podcast, and you were talking about you don't really have any, like, as far as one guy that you want or one girl that you want an interview and things like that. Goals. We all got to have goals, right? Because if you don't have goals, what are we doing? We're just kind of like stagnant and we don't do anything.
Goals, I'd say like be like going to a studio, like somebody's, be on a local radio show.
Oh, there you go.
Only. Like a one night only thing, or just to get, or promote, be like on a wrestling show, not,
Right. That's not a bad thing to aspire after. I always want to do, not ring announcing, but be not the play by play, but be a ring announcer every once in a while. Not all the time, but just hey.
No.
Here we
give
go.
it a try. Yeah, give it a try.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what I would like to tell everybody that's watching this wonderful show here, Mr. Russell has a podcast that's on Podcast City Network. That's a network of multiple podcasts.
Along with Robin Nelson. Don't forget about that guy.
Robin Nelson. I know Robin, man. He's down there with Cody Hawk and those guys out of Ohio with Future Great Wrestling. And he's done a lot of good interviews. He interviewed Sammy Callahan and Madman Fulton. I've interviewed Fulton. I've not interviewed Sammy Callahan, but
no.
So Podcast City Network, and they got a network of podcasters, small guys, not these $1 million dudes, you know what I'm saying? And nothing wrong with that. We're not Chris Jericho's and things like that, but they got these smaller guys that are together and making a name for themselves. And why don't you tell these guys out here where they can find all that wonderful content that you have out there? And listen, I'm going to put all of that down here in the description.
Right here.
Yeah, right here in the description. And all you have to do is scroll down there and click the link instead of having to go search it and find it. I make it real easy on you because I know, right? I know. That's for sure. And listen, if you're on your mobile watching this, over there, that's what I meant, over there, there's a little arrow that points down. If you click that, it'll bring down like a drop down, and in there is where the description's at. So,
but also, Cody, you know what? Let's plug it right now. You're coming on to my podcast. The 29th?
Yes, sir.
Thursday night. We'll have a sit down with Cody. Yeah. Cody Fleming is going to jump on the Deathmatch Russell podcast.
That's right.
I'll be
there.
Fun.
I'll be there.
Know.
Loud
bells and whistles. Oh yeah!
I wish I could do it that good.
I used to, before I plug, can I do my two favorite of all time, Macho Man and Mick Foley. I love Mick Foley.
I wish I would have been able to meet Macho Man before he passed, dude. That sucks.
Well, let me tell you something. The Macho Man still lives in the air and the cream of the crop. Yeah, dig it. Oh, yeah. But if you feel like stepping into a Slim Jim, Big Foley will say, have a nice day. Bang, bang. I'm coming home. Bobby. But that's my two voices that I like to do.
That was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Do you know who Akeem Zayn is, or Rahit Raju?
No.
He's in Impact Wrestling, and he does a great Macho Man, dude. Great Macho Man.
I remember Impact when do you remember Jay Lethal?
Yes, Jay Lethal does probably one of the better ones.
He did a pretty good.
Yeah.
He did a pretty good, and then Flair's ones, and he
really
got into it, man. There's a wrestler. We'll talk about Jay Lethal maybe next time. So stay tuned, fans, for that. Yeah. But what you saying? Plug away, David. Okay. I'm taking your words out of my mouth now, right? Okay, plug away, right? And shut the hell up.
So you're good.
I know. But where can everybody find the Deathmatch Russell podcast? Well, you can always go on Facebook and type in David C. Russell. and add me on Facebook, and but also go to my Deathmatch Russell podcast page on Facebook, on the groups page or group. I think it's on a group page, and just type in Deathmatch Russell Podcast. And you can always find me on Twitter at DJ Dave NJ32, and on Instagram at DJ Dave 36NJ, and on YouTube just Deathmatch Russell Podcast, and online.
Yeah, I'm writing them all down.
I think I sent them to you a while back, but
maybe you did. You probably did.
But also you can find me online at deathmatchrussellpodcast.com.
Ooh, yes. And you're also on Podcast City, right?
On Podcast City Network as well. How can we not forget Podcast City Network? Check them out also on Facebook. On Facebook at Podcast City Network, and on Twitter at podcastcity.net or at net. Yep, and that's it. And that's it. And you could go in there. You could purchase yourself a brand new beer mug cozy by Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
Oh, look at that. A beer cozy.
But you know what? Special people like you will get something in the mail soon.
Oh, well, thank you. Beer koozies.
I'm all out of shirts right now because I ran out of shirts, but you will get.
That's not a bad problem to have, brother.
Yeah.
I got a whole box of T-shirts upstairs I need to get off right now, man.
Yeah.
You want T-shirt?
T-shirt. I got one laying around. Maybe. Hold on. We'll see. I want to put some out there for people. But
right.
Yeah, people could go and find that. And don't forget to save 10% off a purchase when you use the promo code Deathmatch Russell Podcast on Collar and Elbow.
Ooh, Collar and Elbow. I got one of their T-shirts. I got a nice one on there. Now,
yeah, I haven't gotten paid in a while, so people buy the shirt. It's,
I need the money. I got kids. No.
Yes, you need to buy more figures behind you, but we'll talk about those in another time.
Man, I got so many. You have no idea.
We'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about. Next
man.
week.
Ask away, dude. I got a stack of stuff sitting over here that I ain't even got put up yet. I got autographs that got to go up. It's insane how much money I have in wrestling memorabilia, dude.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it on Thursday night, fans. So, you know what? That's it for me.
Tune in Thursday night. What time?
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
on Facebook Live on the Deathmatch on David C. Russell's page on Facebook, because you know what? I think that gets more viewers. Actually, it does.
There you go.
Awesome. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much, sir. And don't forget to click down there in the description so that you can click right on over to all of his stuff, follow him, and subscribe, and all the good stuff that you need to do, and listen to the great content of the Deathmatch Russell podcast. David C. Russell.
Match Russell. I have a badass pump. My friend actually made a cool theme for me.
Well, there you go. I like that. I got a good one too. I like that. Yeah.
I use a little animation with the Macho Man and Flair and Mr. Take, Mr. Paul Bearer.
That's right.
I love it.
David C. Russell, my brother, man. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, Cody Fleming, and have a good night. And fans, check out Rasslin Rage Radio.
Awesome.
Check it out. It's r2youtube.com. That's R2youtube.com, and tell them Velvet sent you.